gonna come play out in the snow? No? Big stretch. Come on down with me. Good morning, everybody. It is Sunday morning, and our whole house has been really sick. I think we got the flu. I had one kid puking, both kids with fevers. You can maybe tell my voice is still kind of gone a little bit. So I haven't been recording for a while. We had, I think last thing I recorded, Cookie was not doing well. I checked back in on her. She was doing fine. Since then, we had a baby goat with what we think was pneumonia. I wanted to get videos of that, but we were so sick, and then we were trying to take care of the baby goat, and I was doing, why can't I think of not penicillin, I was using, but an antibiotic. So we did a 5-day round of antibiotics for the kid, brought it inside, it screamed all night long, we didn't get any sleep, it was really miserable. She's fine now. After the first shot of antibiotics, she pretty much completely cleared up. The next shot after that, she was like completely normal. By day 3, I listened to her lungs with a stethoscope, and they sounded great, and we put her back outside. And then I continued the last couple of days of antibiotics, and then she was good. And I'm also going to, in this video, I'll take care of the goats real quick, and then we'll go out. I've got to give milk to the baby goats, and I'll talk about why I pull kids. That seems to be like the biggest comment that I get on all of our kidding videos. Everybody's really concerned, or just wondering why. They're just not concerned, but my brain doesn't work well when I'm pregnant. I can't think of things very well. Curious, concerned. I have the concerned people and the curious people, and then I have the people that get mad that I'm taking them. We have so many reasons why we take them. I know that it's not something that you see super often with a lot of the people that do YouTube, and do the goat birth videos. A lot of them do have kids stay with moms. It's not uncommon. It's actually quite common practice. At least almost any goat breeder that I've ever dealt with pulls all kids. I do know some that keep them on, but it's quite common practice to pull kids, especially with the show goats, because we're opening our herd up for disease multiple times a year. And even though at the end of a show season I test everybody, you can miss things on tests. So what people do is they like to pull kids, and they like to heat treat milk, so you're not running the risk of passing anything on to goat kids, which is one of the reasons why we pull kids. So I'll touch on the other reasons why after I get everybody milked out. I don't think there was anything else I was gonna go over. I did get an ultrasound. I am due August 27th, which is actually my second daughter's birthday. So that'll be a crazy birthday if that's when the baby comes. Obviously, babies usually don't like to come on their due dates, but we'll see. And I should find out gender in like a week. Also, with the comments on my birth videos, please be kind to me, because I'm super sensitive, and I understand that a lot of people farm in different ways, and that the way that I farm isn't going to be for everybody, and that's perfectly fine. I do not believe that what I am doing is what everybody else should be doing. I will never ever believe that. When I go over the reasons why I pull kids, I'm not going over those because I want you to pull your kids. Keep them on if it works for you. Keep them on if you want to keep them on. I don't think that farms have to pull kids. If we had a better setup and we kidded when it was warmer, maybe I would leave kids on some of the dams. We just don't have that type of setup right now to safely do that. So when you watch my videos, keep in mind that I do things that have worked for me. I do things the way that I learned how to do them from when I worked at a creamery with a lady who had been doing it for, 40 years. And I also get a lot of advice from breeders that I've purchased animals from. What I've done's worked really, really well so far. I have never lost a goat, knock on wood. I've never lost a goat kid, knock on wood again. Maybe that all has to do with luck, but I think that some of it has to do with the way that I manage our animals and the way that I might be a little bit more hands-on. And again, that works for me. It might not work for you or anybody else, and that's completely fine. I don't think that people should have to do things the same on farms. Usually what works for one person isn't going to work for another. It's very common to see that happen. So just be kind with your comments. I did have to go in and delete my first comment ever because they were making fun of the way that I looked and how I probably didn't give medication to my animals or vaccinate because of the way that I look. Which for anybody that watches my videos knows that I vaccinate all of my animals every 6 months. I vaccinate before kidding. I am not opposed to medication. I'm not opposed to antibiotics, but I'm going to use those types of things when they need to be used. Because one, my vet trusts me to sign off on those medications because he knows I don't overuse them. And I don't want to build any sort of resistance in my animals. So you're going to see that I try not to use things like that. When a case comes up that I absolutely have to, I will. I work very closely with my vet. I call my vet if I have any questions. I talk to other breeders. I talk to them if I have questions. So what I'm doing is approved by a vet. Believe it or not, it's maybe surprising to some. But yeah, so be nice to me, please, because I cry when I read comments like that. Hello, ladies. Is your water frozen? Oh, you forgot to plug your water in last night. Look, it's snowing. Anybody gonna come out and snow with me? No? Why are you being so difficult? gonna run inside and after I fill this and get the goat kids their milk and then bring it out to them. And I'll talk about why we pull them. Again, I'm not telling anybody they should do this or that it's the proper way to do things, but it is what works here on our farm. And while we're outside, and you can see what our weather's like, I will say that one of the reasons that we pull kids is weather. It gets really cold here. We started kidding in December and January. That is cold. And I see a lot of people who lose kids to the cold. So that's not something that we want to do. If I pull kids, I can bring them inside for the first couple of days of life, make sure that nobody gets cold. I can then put them under a heat lamp, and it saves a lot of stress. This is one of the does. This is Buckling. Oops, this little gray guy. And then this girl with the yellow jacket on is the one that we had inside that we are pretty sure had pneumonia. And she's doing great now. That's not too tight. All right, so I'm gonna try not to forget reasons. I had them written down, or I was gonna write them down. I didn't write them down. I meant to have them written down. I sell goat kids for anywhere between $450 and $1,200 a piece. We are getting rid of our 2 recorded grade does, which is cinnamon and sugar, in the spring. So we won't be doing the $450 unregistered goats like we do now. So it's going to be more of like a between like $600 and $1,200 goat kids. I just want to say that because if we lose a goat kid, it's horrible. You don't want to lose a goat kid. It's just a terrible feeling. But 2, it's a lot of money that we're losing as well, which our kidding season is basically the only thing that we make money off of when it comes to our goats at the moment. Because I'm licensed, but I haven't really been. I just got licensed right when we were weaning or drying everybody off last year. So the bulk of our money, what pays for our grain or our property taxes or things like that, is the sale of goat kids. So it's really important for us to keep them alive and healthy. We pull for many reasons. I have tried keeping kids on for more than just like the quick out and then out. The first kidding season, I tried to keep goat kids on for like 3 to 4 days. And then by the time that we took them away so we could get them used to a bottle and they weren't destroying mom's udder, and we were trying to, can you please leave the camera alone? We were trying to milk mom. It was horrible. She screamed bloody murder for days on end. We had to make sure that we kept the baby goats in the barn so they could touch each other's noses through the fence but not suck on teats. The goat kids screamed forever. We share a barn, like the wall of our barn is shared with our bedroom. So it's really noisy. I don't get any sleep if we have goats screaming all night. They forget about their kids very, very quickly. If I take a baby goat away right after she kids, usually she's more interested in cleaning up the afterbirth, which is what she's mostly interested in with the goat kid as well. She wants to clean up the afterbirth. So when I take that kid away, once she's cleaned up the afterbirth, she may yell a little bit, but it's usually because she wants me down there with her. As soon as I walk down there, she's done yelling. She wants to be up on the milking stand. She wants to get grain. She wants to be loved on. But they tend to forget about their kids. I know that they forget about them as well because we kept Crunch last year, and Crunch was Cinnamon's baby. We took Crunch away. We bottle fed Crunch. We put Crunch back in with the goats, and Cinnamon beat on Crunch bad. She did not want a little baby goat around her. She wanted nothing to do with her. Crunch was like 12 weeks old at this point, but she had also been down in the barn on and off as a little baby goat, and her mom had zero interest in her. I've had moms that I've been like, well, maybe I'll just let the goat kids start sucking on them before I take them away. I've had a few moms where goat kids get up, try to suck on them, and they headbutt them into the wall super hard. So they want, again, nothing to do with them. So that's one of the reasons I take, or I guess what makes not taking them away so terrible is that they typically don't mind that much. When it comes to reasoning behind taking them away, I said, it gets really, really cold here. It's easy to lose goat kids. On that as well, this kid had pneumonia. It was easy for me to tell she had it because I'm in here multiple times a day filling milk up and checking on them. And when she had it, it was easy. Oh, sorry, that's the boy. She's right here. It was easy for me to pick her up, take her inside without her freaking out, give her shots, give her whatever I needed to by mouth, check her lungs. She's already used to the bottle, so I don't have to now try to introduce her to a bottle on top of trying to treat her for something, which makes my life and the goat's life way easier. It makes life easier on the mom. She would be freaking out if we took the baby away. The baby who would be freaking out. Us who would be trying to force all these things on this baby goat that wants nothing to do with us. We show as well. I did touch on the heat-treated milk, which is really important. But then also, I want even udders, which sometimes you can definitely still get with dam raising kids. Can you stop eating my hair? But we had a 12-pound single buck kid. He was probably going to destroy his mom's udder, which would have been a shame because her udder is gorgeous. We want even udders. We want to keep udders even, so we milk. We don't let the kids decide if they want to keep udders even or not. These goat kids will also feed on their moms for as long as their moms will let them. So if I have these goat kids in with mom for the rest of their life, I could potentially have a goat kid sucking on mom's teats for the rest of its life, which I don't want. I like to dry my does up in the winter. I like to get the milk from my does so I can make cheese. So eventually I can make money on the farm other than just goat kid sales. Yes. So it's important for me to be able to have that choice to have them weaned so I can use that milk for bottle feeding them, but then when they go for cheese making. They also have bottom teeth. Goat kids are born with these sharp bottom teeth, which I've seen destroy nipples. The plastic ones, they rip holes in them. I've seen them destroy actual goat nipples, and I don't want to deal with that either. So a lot of it is for the health and safety of mom's udder. I know that I made a post on YouTube. I should have made one on my Facebook page too. We have way more people interested on the farm on Facebook than on YouTube. So I probably would have had more people comment on it. Somebody had mentioned that they pull dairy calves, so cows, baby cows. Because one, they're more cooperative, which is true for us as well. Like I said, it's easier to give things to the babies. Rough on udders, which I also touched on, and because they're really hard to wean. So same with cows. It's harder to wean these babies. They're really rough on udders. And I don't want to deal with that. I had somebody also ask if we felt that generation after generation of babies being pulled, that the dams or these kids, like when they become parents, would lose their ability to dam raise their kids, which is a really great question. I've seen people on goat pages say that if you have a goat that's really bad at dam raising their kids after 2 years, to cull them, which cull doesn't necessarily means like, it could mean to just sell them to somebody else who doesn't care. And because they are convinced that their babies also won't be good at dam raising, I don't know if that's necessarily the case, because I know people that have bought goats from long lines of bottle raised babies, and then those goats have gone on to dam raise their kids just fine. I've also known people to buy goats from places where the goats have been dam raised, and then they don't want to raise their kids. So I really just think it's goat specific. One of my reasonings used to be that the mothering instinct is bred out of dairy goats, because they've been pulled for so long. And I just don't know now if that's actually as true as I used to think that it was. So I don't put that as one of my reasonings for pulling anymore. That was the only questions really that we had on that. But another reason is I do let goat kids go on the bottle at 4 weeks. Whoops. I did have a goat kid, a buckling, go at a week old this year, because he went to somebody who was getting another goat kid, and he's bottle raised babies before. I trusted that he could take care of that goat correctly at a week old. It's surprisingly pretty easy to keep goats healthy and on a bottle if they've already been on the bottle. And selling them at 4 weeks old on the bottle gives me the ability to take all that extra milk that I would be feeding to these kids and to make cheese out of it. Or drink it for my family. Right now, it's more us drinking it because it's too cold for me to use the creamery. I can't really make any cheese. I feel like I probably have more reasons. I can write up like a little thing as well in the description of this post in case I forget anything. But yeah, I mean, it's mostly for the safety of everybody, for the kids, for the moms, for ease of taking care of kids. Some people say if you pull them, they won't learn how to goat correctly. And I don't care if my goats know how to goat correctly at all. I don't really want my goats to be goats. I want to be able to pick my goats up, and I want to be able to put them on a milk stand, and I want to be able to play with their udder and milk them, and put things in their mouth and give them shots and do whatever I want to them, because I want to be able to care for them as best as I can. And I want to be able to milk them, because to keep them and to care for them and to feed them correctly and keep them nice and fat and healthy, I need to make cheese and sell milk. And so for them and for me, it's important that they're not goats and that they're my little buddies. So I hope that explains why we pull goat kids. I know I might seem like a horrible person for doing it to some of you, but it's really not that bad. The moms still love me dearly. The goat kids love me dearly. And, hi. And we've been able to keep everybody healthy and alive and happy doing what we do. Right? So we'll keep pulling goat kids. Yes, we will.